Alright, let's try this again. Second take. Alright, we're gonna get it. So one of these days, when I do a video, it'll be on the first take. Everything goes flawlessly, perfect, smooth, crisp, easy, clean, airstream. But until then, second take. Hi everybody, kind of welcome back to, a quick update of what's happened with the build of the M4A3. I finished all of the stowage. All the stowage is finished. I'm probably gonna add a twine cord or rope to tie everything down, and then tie a cord to tie everything down back here. That's really the only plan that I have extra for this tank itself. I plan on doing a figure. To me, it comes with, this kit comes with tons and tons and tons of figures. It gives you a duplicate of the commander figure that they want you to use. I do not like that figure. I don't like his pose. He's looking through binoculars. I don't like that he's looking through binoculars. I think it looks a bit silly, in my personal opinion. So I'd rather have this commander figure, and let's see if I can get this the function without having my arm blocking the way. His hand rests perfectly there, which well, it will rest perfectly there once everything's glued in place, and I really like that. But I did steal the binoculars from the other figure and throw them on a piece of tape, and I glued this down with some super glue. Really quick, simple thing. I do this for a lot of my slings, either rifles, binoculars, other stuff like that. I just use a little bit of tape and super glue on, and they work decent. They work decent. It doesn't look. It's not fancy. It's not like a piece of photo etch. I know some people use old photo etch parts, and they make a sling out of that. I feel like you don't need to go that elaborate. I feel like this does justice for it, and slap a coat of paint on her, you could never tell that it was just tape. And also it has a bit of a texture which looks right. Photo etch tends to be very jagged in the way it looks, so it's supposed to look like metal normally. I don't really give you photo etch parts to look like fabric, to my knowledge. I might be talking out my ass right now, but until then. So yeah, stowage was all done. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with this kit. This kit turned out good. Figure died. Besides the decal right there, everything else went really good. The paint went really good. My airbrush held up, which I just use one of those really cheap ones that you buy with it's the very 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 cheapo thing. You buy the compressor, buy the airbrush, everything, bada bing, and they give you everything. It's one of those ones. It's a siphon feed one. I hate the thing to death. I'm gonna get a new one. It's just money trying to get that. She just spits paint, and I've looked into it and to see if oh, it's maybe just me. It's not me. Have a friend that has an Iwata HPC. I think I'm not sure if it's a plus. It's either that or it's an older. It's an older one, one of the earlier models. I think it might be one of the earlier models. I don't think it's the plus. But I went over to his house, and I asked hey, can I try out your airbrush? He's like, yeah, sure, and stuff. And he's like, you want me to mix for you? And I said no, because I wanted to make sure that I was mixing right, and it wasn't my mixing of my paint. Mixed my own paints, sprayed Tamiya dark yellow, so a paint that I sprayed often enough. I've done a couple German models, so I know how that paint I know how that paint needs to be mixed. I know the consistency I want for it. Sprayed it with his airbrush, flawless, beautiful, and I was like, oh, so it's the airbrush. So I can blame the tools for my paints on sometimes, but this model turned out pretty good, and I think the main reason was because there's so much streaky, crackly stuff that the non-perfect perfect laying of the airbrush is just kind of adding to the effect of the paint, which I'm fine with, and with this model at least. But that's how that's all happening. I'm gonna build a diorama for this thing. I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with it. That's why I'm adding the figure. If I wasn't gonna do a diorama, I probably wouldn't do the figure, or I might even still, but I want to do a diorama. It wouldn't be anything big or massive. The kit includes 3 infantrymen. I'm not sure if I want to use them. Not entirely sure. They looked okay, but I just don't like their. I like one of their poses. Like the guy running, and there's a guy like stopping. There's a guy like grabbing his helmet and like running, and he doesn't look right to me. It just looks weird because like I don't know why he's running so fast. It's just So we'll do a diorama. I might just have this guy like with his binoculars on his neck, like looking out across a field, like into like a woods, something like that. Because it's done up for the Battle of the Bulge. It gave me a chance to work with some mud effects that I've never done before, and weather it up. So tracks in the bottom, most of the lower hull won't be weathered until I do the diorama because I want to weather all of that together. So that's how that'll all go down. Until then, I'm going to call this the kit. Besides the cord I want to add, this kit is done and I can throw it up on a shelf just to keep her out of the way, which makes me happy. Figure can go over there too. Now, the more observant of you may notice something else in the background. It's a BF-109. It's the E4 version. Yeah, it's the E4 version. Yep. Yeah. Had to check to make sure. It's an Airfix model. It's a 1/72nd scale thing. Nothing expensive, fancy. Anything crazy. I have done planes. I have a A6M2B0 that I built from Airfix, 1/72nd scale. Turned out okay. Learned stuff about aircraft. It was my first aircraft I'd ever done. Learned that gloss coats make canopies foggy. Did not know that happens. Fun stuff. So I turned that thing into like a smoking thing. There's a picture. I uploaded it yesterday. I just actually finished the smoke stuff yesterday because I'd taken forever. Airplanes have tons and tons of little decals. Like on like even 1/72nd scale. Holy crap! Like there's a decal just about every 5 inches, and I'm like, whoa. I didn't do all the decals on the Zero. I was planning on doing it, but after the first clear coat went down and it fogged up the canopy, I was like, balls. And so I decided to do like cotton. I just took cotton balls, dipped it. I have some black weathering powder, and I made like the white absorbed enough it to the point where it looks gray, and it's covering the most of the cockpit. And then I took some of the black powder and did it onto the canopy to look like it was the oil splatting up. Which I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. I don't even know if that's how accurate how the Zeros burned or when they got shot up. They might have burned completely in a completely different spot, but that's my story. It's burning like that. Shh, hiding my mistakes regardless of the history and historical accuracy. Gonna learn from that one. Gonna hopefully learn from that one, and I've got one of the canopies masked off completely, but I might just leave it off and hand paint it because I hand painted the Zero cockpit, the canopy, and it wasn't horrible because if you take a toothpick or cocktail stick wherever you claim your region of living and what you call it, you can scratch the paint off the plastic pretty good, and to the point where even if you go over just a little bit in every spot and you just scratch it off, you take the 5-10 minutes to scratch everything off, you can get a decent looking canopy. And I'm okay with how it looked. I don't need to take 5 hours and cut little squares and make sure she's masked off perfectly, then spray her with the airbrush. The way I did it, I was fine with that. Now I'm not a massive airplane fan. They interest me. There's definitely times where I've been like, wow, that'd be kind of cool to have an aircraft, or aircraft are cool. But they don't get my my motor running quite like armored vehicles do. I have a big. I enjoy tanks quite a bit. Tanks are very, very cool. So tanks make me happy. So that's this thing. It's definitely decent looking. Wasn't a bad kit. The fit wasn't horrible either. Sorry, the reason I went from a weird trailing thing was that I thought there's that piece right there. I thought that piece was on this side, And I noticed a little nub there. I was like, oh, did I just bump that thing off in the midst of talking on the camera? Ah, I didn't. I've been trying to avoid those little tiny, I'm sure they're probably like radar. No, I'm not radar, but antenna things. That's what I think they are. I don't know what they are. I'm talking on my ass here again. But yeah, I was saying, you know, tanks get my motor running. Aircraft, yeah, cool, aircraft. But the main reason ding is that my girlfriend wanted to get into modeling. Now, this is a truly rare occurrence. The woman wants to get into modeling too, and she wanted an aircraft. She even picked a good one. Look at that. Fokker Wolf, I think it's the A4 if I'm not mistaken, you know. It's another Airfix kit. I had to talk her out. She wanted to do a sci-fi kit, and I don't like decals, as you may have noticed from... Don't really want to do 1,000 little decals for each window. She's a big, huge Trekkie, so you know. She wanted to do a Star Trek thing, she wanted to do the next generation. She wanted to do, was it NC 1701, it's the D version, I think, is that one. She wanted to do that. I was like, let's see if you want to do a tank. I don't want to do a tank. Tanks aren't fun and they're not cool. You want to do, like, you know, a boat? Nah, boats are cool, but, you know, don't want to do a boat. You want to do a space thing? Yeah, I want to do a space thing. I was like, well, I don't know, space things are scary. How about a plane? Oh, I can do a plane. Planes are cool. Yeah, got her on board. Also means that, you know, I get to build a plane, and I get to keep planes. I like planes more than space stuff. Space stuff's okay. You know, I do enjoy Star Trek. I enjoy Star Wars better. Because we all know who's the real OG there. No matter what, when they came out, we know who's the better one. You know, just giving you crap. You can fight about it, whatever you want. They're both great. I enjoy them both. Got to give people crap about which one they like. That's really kind of it about what I've been doing. I got those things. That'll be finished up at some point in time. She'll be doing that. I'll probably do a couple pictures of her build. You know, you can see how she did on it, and then you can see how much better she did than me. That'll be fun. I've got a couple kits I need to finish up. I've got a Dragon. It's the half tracker. It's SDK25107D. It's got a 2-centimeter thing. It's been sitting on my to-do bench for almost a year now. The tracks on her are a bitch. I hate to use that word, but they are a pain. Like, I do not like those tracks at all. They're 2 pieces per length. The instructions told you to glue the drive sprocket on, because, you know, it's kind of an awkward thing. And the drive sprocket's got a locator. It's a 1 pin here and another pin here, and you glue it on, and so it's in the right position because it's got like a transmission, like an axle or like a transaxle cover that, you know. So here's the main wheel. Main wheel's my hand, and then over here where I just looped, there's another thing. So that needs to be like lined up right. So you can't actually turn the thing, even if you were to like take it off. Because I did actually end up taking it off. You can't turn like the wheel because the bump in it hits the front of it, which is annoying because you can't like thread the tracks through. And I built it up thinking, you know, this would be a good kit. It's actually done. It's my first kit that I did camouflage on. I'm not entirely happy with the camouflage on it. I don't know. I might just do the hairspray technique and cover it up with whitewash, which I wouldn't mind doing. It needs work to do. I want to get that done and out of my way so I don't have to look at it. I can grab it. Hold on. The decals were not friendly with me either. Yeah. This kit. Don't really want to break the tracks down here, but it's kind of a silly thing, you know. See, decals are not friendly. It's 12th SS Hitler Jugend. Hitler. It's the Youth Panzer Division. No, looks like she broke on the gun too, right there. Happy days. Just love this kit. Greatest kit I've ever built. I'll try to fix it, you know. Definitely don't want to just let it sit there. Well, I do just want to let it sit there, but that's not practical. Oop, thumbtack fell down. But on a much cheerier note than a horrible kit that I hate with all my heart, there's a person that commented down to my thing. I might botch his last name, but you know, if you do watch my video again, man, excuse me for botching your last name. I'm not the greatest with names. Steve Mottram. That's how I'm pronouncing it, and that's how I'm going to stay with it until I get corrected. Left some really nice words, you know, give me things, but you know, my first video went good, you know, first, like, all the build stuff and up. Really solid, like, you know, just like good words. And you know, that was good to have, because it's kind of nice, you know, I didn't have any, like, crazy amounts of views. I was like, oh, well, no one's watching it, you know, I'm fine with that, you know, put it up there. Maybe someone will see it and be like, hey, you know, need to watch that, you know, I have that kit too. Want to see how the review went and how this guy thought about it. So, ta-da. And then he left it down there. He said he's going to give me a shout out, which is, you know, that's great, man. Thanks loads. That's some pretty great stuff, you know, doing that for me. Even if, like, you know, it doesn't attract like a bazillion people, hey, 5 extra people that come and watch the video, that's great with me, you know. I'm fine with that. And he also invited me to do a group build. It's the letter M group build. It sounds pretty interesting. The idea is, you know, the identification of the what is he called? I watched his video. He has an hour-long video, just explaining stuff and, you know, doing cool stuff. Then he has another introduction to it, the actual group build that you should go watch. I'll try to link his channel in the description below, you know. But I should be taking part of that. I'll probably be doing. I want to do one of the older Tamiya kits, so like an M5 Stewart. I was either thinking of doing an M5 Stewart, or this sounds like a weird thing, the older Tamiya kit, the M4A3 patent. I think they did one of those. I kind of want to do a jungle-y kind of thing, and if I did the M4A3 patent, that'd be in Vietnam. If I do the M5 Stewart, I'm going to do it over in the islands. And I've got some cool ideas that I want to do for the M5 Stewart if I do that one. I want to get some popsicle sticks, and I want to do some wood armor and try that out and maybe see how that goes. So I want to see how that is. We'll decide. I should be taking part in that. So kudos to that guy. Thanks once again for everything you did. You know, that was cool. You get 2 thumbs up for me. You are a cool guy. You are a good person in my book so far, and you know, you seem like a great guy. You know, you talk good. You know, nothing crazy you're doing, which is good. I'm happy about that. That probably wraps up the video for the most part. Nothing else I really think I need to talk about. I'll probably do up another update when I get a little bit farther on this thing, or she gets a little bit farther on that thing, or if I finish the figure or finish the diorama stuff. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks anybody for watching. Once again, thanks Steve for, you know, what you've done, doing the shout and everything cool, and, you know, inviting me to the group build. Sounds great. I'll be there. I'll be building something. So everyone else watching, have a good day. Take her easy. You know, don't cut yourself, and, you know, enjoy modeling. It's a fun thing. Do it. Take her easy, folks.